All right.
All right, so call to order. This is zoning board meeting on Tuesday, July 16th. Oof, that flies. So the agenda. Let's see, this is minutes from last meeting. Eric, is joining? You get settled? You just called the meeting to order? Wait to get settled? We're going to start off with the minutes. If you can get Eric a copy of the minutes.
Okay.
May 21st.
Right, got your minutes right here, agenda. This is the original application. We've got some additions here.
I know, yeah, I noticed that. The minutes are from May 21st.
Was there a June meeting?
We did have a meeting, but it was just
Yeah, it
Jim
was just
and Matt, so there were no minutes for that meeting. We just did a brief stint on the camera.
I mean, the agenda is from.
Is it the wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here you go.
Just,
Oops, sorry. So it's just the 1903. If
1903.
you'd like, I can go ahead and print you one.
No, that's fine.
Sorry
I have a copy of it.
yeah, no, that's fine. It's just-
Sorry about that.
So if you want to review the minutes from May 21st, Eric? We'll go ahead and get that out of the way. One thing we noted, Eric, on the minutes is that Mary Ann started out as chair. We voted to elect officers, and then it stated that I changed it over to chair later in the minutes. Minor note there.
Oh, actually, I might have a change. The 6:30, I think it was supposed to be 6 o'clock.
No.
I don't think we actually started late. I think that was just a miss.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep. That would be the only change I can see. Call to order time.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes with the change of time for call to order.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So passed, all right. And next, moving on. Case 1903, application for variance. Ron Theron, pursuit of zoning, Article 7, and that is for 14 Lakewood Drive. So, we've got some more information. I figured, just give you the opportunity to kind of review things. It sounds like it's all similar, but I'll just give you the opportunity to.
Okay. First of all, just reintroduce, this is my wife Colleen. She's also here, okay? We did make some changes to the drawings from the site assessment. We did not have some of the town setbacks in there. Now they're there and fairly visible. The existing house is there, and then what we're looking to do as far as the variance itself goes. Let me just, I don't want to bore anybody with details, but I just want to reiterate something that I had said that really has nothing to do specifically with the dimensions or anything on it. I just want to reiterate what we were told that when we purchased this house in January, okay? This has to do with the site assessment itself. If you do take a quick look at it, it has a dotted line all the way around the perimeter of the property. Everybody associated with the transaction, the seller, the buyer, their realtors, everybody involved in this had told us that we could build to that spot. There was never really any mention about variances, but anyway, that's not your problem. I'm just telling you what we were told, okay? As part of that is we had a lot that was 5289 and a house that was 410 square feet. And again, lots of room to add on, okay? My wife and I have 3 kids, 6 grandkids. We've always wanted to live at the lake, have a place at the lake. We knew this was very, very small. We knew we were going to have to make some changes, and we were really floored when we found out that we couldn't do what we were told we could do. Okay, and again, this is not your problem, but what we're asking for is reasonable use of the land. Okay, again, it's 5,289 square feet. The house itself is 410. Even if we went with all of this that we're looking at here, I believe that it is 1,470 square feet. So we're talking 28% of the property still, okay? I don't know if there's anything that I still need to add other than try to step through some of the
So this
dimensions, but.
So this is 1478 just flat. That's not the intent of the size of the house, right? Because you could go multiple stories.
Yeah, we're looking at single level
If my
right
age
now,
were 30.
because we're not in the youngest of age right now. So we're at least looking at that. So we're trying to, what we don't want to do is restrict our footprint and then figure out we can't go up. Okay? So we're looking at a footprint that we satisfied with if it was all on one level. Okay? It may be reduced from this, but we're looking at the outer limits, if you will, of the footprint itself. I guess that's all I really have to say, unless you want me to step right through the drawing itself and what we're looking for. If you want me to do that, I'll certainly do that.
Has anything changed from the last time?
Well, we did not have any of the town setbacks marked off.
Right.
That was the biggest thing. We went a little, I believe we went a little narrower, but we went deeper. Because what we did was we used the setback, the town setback, as a border, if you will.
Right.
But we realized that we could get back further and not have to go so far out. All right, so we're kind of using that as the guideline. If you look at the very, very front of the existing house, where it says 23 feet, from that house to the property line is 22 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are even able to expand to the right there, we're still not going any closer than 22 feet to the road, to the front, okay? On the right-hand side, the town setback is 20 feet. By the way, the town setback on the first one was 30 feet, okay? On the front was 30 feet,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Road frontage.
Right.
Yep.
The right side has a town setback of 20 feet. We want to move that by 6 feet. We want to have a 14-foot from the property line to the building. This property, on the other side of this, it borders just common ground. There are no houses over there. If you look to that side, it has a generator, it has the sewer pump up, it has the electrical, it's just nothing. It's a triangle area.
Playground.
That, playground is even further off than that.
There's a launch road access.
The beach road is
Yeah.
still on the other side of all that, okay? So there's no building there at all. On the back side, we were looking to, on the back side, that had a town setback of 20 feet also. Using the town setback, we were looking to kind of square off that area there. So we'd still be looking at about 12 feet from the property line to the closest point to the building. Okay? On the left side, and by the way, that one also borders common land. Just outside of that picture, below that is actually the beach access where the boats are pulled in, you know, to dock. So there's nothing there, there's no building there also. On the left side, the town setback is 20 feet. I just wanted to make note that the existing building is about 6 feet off the property line. Okay? We're looking at using that 20-foot mark, still coming back straight to square off. So we're still looking at the closest point, 12 feet between that and the property line on the back side. Okay? I guess that's covers everything. If you have any questions or...
Do we know how far this adjacent property, the adjacent house is from the property line, their property line?
Which, oh, you're talking about this one on this side here?
It'd be the one that is this,
Yes. Well, it's 12 feet to the property line, and if they're 6 feet off, it would be 18 feet.
okay. Not yet.
That'd be 18 feet, what I'm saying. And I'm not so sure that's 6 feet, but...
Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering.
This is the building that they're building. This is their lot, kind of like.
Well, if you don't, yeah. Look, you're talking 6 feet, it's really 6 feet.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it
not,
doesn't look
it's
like-
not 6 feet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is.
What, your house on
Yeah. No, from the property line.
From, yeah,
Yeah,
there.
so what's
Because we're the
the, is this
we're
the
the
one that
92,
they're talking about
99
here?
This is the building.
That's this one right here, right?
That's that, yes, correct.
It's that one.
Yeah.
And this,
Is it, so,
This is the street here.
right,
This is that street there.
and this dotted line is, what's this dotted line right here?
that's inside the structure.
Yeah.
Porch maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Is it-
that was
Front
the,
porch.
that's the,
That's the porch?
Yeah, that's
Is it a
existing.
screen
It's
in
a-
porch?
It's like a roof porch.
Yeah.
It's got a roof over it.
I'm looking for one thing, please. There it is. I can pass this, but let me just explain this. This is kind of the overview, if you will. This is this house, okay? This is the common area here, as I said, the beach access road. Now you can see, this is the house that you were just talking about. And it's certainly not 6 feet from the property line. As a matter of fact, their platform actually goes into the common ground. That's another issue.
Yeah.
I want to take a look at that, we'll certainly look at
That might help. This
Yeah.
existing structure.
Yeah. Let's see, they went through all that.
So currently what you're looking at is not that you're going to build this footprint. You want to know, could you, and then you will decide from there what you want to build.
Well, we think we have a good idea. I mean, we think we have a good idea, and this is why we're going for this footprint. Conceivably, we could go up, but we're not really looking at that as an option right now, because I think we just want to keep everything on one level.
Right.
So we really don't even want that to enter into the equation right now.
You're just looking for this, can I build within this red box? That's what you're asking.
Right, and this kind of pinkish box is the current setbacks.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
what you're-
that's the property they could build on if they
No variance.
stayed within, no
Right.
variance, stayed
Right.
within
Right.
all setbacks.
Pie-shaped, probably, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right, and so if I were to go like this, right?
Yeah, trapezoidal.
Yeah, no, I mean, and so basically, if they were gonna follow the letter of the law, they'd come out like this,
Yes,
Yeah,
and then,
do that angle, maybe go straight, and then, couldn't
that.
go that far, not as far as. you have to go
Oh,
like
no,
this.
you could only go this,
Like
you can only
like
this
that.
far
Yeah.
and over here this way,
Yeah.
okay? That's an odd shaped house.
So we're really just trying to square things up.
Yeah.
We're
If
taking-
one doesn't build it, I would do it. So it's like-
No, I mean,
So what
no, I
we're
was
really
just trying to
looking
figure out how
to
to do.
Well,
your
when he
existing-
first showed me that little pie, I was like, and what are we supposed to do with that piece of pie?
yeah.
Yeah,
so we're basically taking the town setbacks and kind of squaring them off a little bit to make it usable.
Make it a usable structure.
Right,
yeah, it'd be kind of an L shape.
exactly.
Yes,
It's a L shape.
with a cutout of it.
So any more information, comments, thoughts?
We
No,
just
I
like to get
think-
a couple of bedrooms in there. We had the kids up over the weekend in this little itty bitty. And it was like, okay, you guys go outside now for a little while. You can come in and go to the bathroom. No, you can't sleep in here now. It's-
Pick a number.
It's, and that's
crazy what-
basically what it was, and that was only with
Just
Two
three
kids.
of them, I think, yeah.
2 kids, a couple of adults, and my cousin came over and she just said, I'll be down on the beach.
One of our grandsons walking in, we have the one little bedroom.
bedroom.
He walks in, he says, okay, this one's my bedroom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was it, you know?
And he's
Yeah.
9, and that's.
Anyway, we
about
could have
all
fit, if we had this, we could have fit everybody in there that big of a job. But anyway,
Okay. So I think what we'll do now is we'll move to our discussion amongst ourselves. If we have any questions, you're welcome to stay through the whole thing, but just kind of making a formal transition. We'll,
Do you have anything else to say?
no.
but as we do have questions, we'll bring them up. So, any thoughts?
What's within the little lot there, it's kind of a useless little chunk.
It is definitely a non-conforming lot. It would be very difficult to build, to add on to the existing structure to,
Stay with it.
yeah.
You'd still do the same.
You'd
If you assume that the house is gonna be, that's given where it is.
Right.
I mean, really, all you could do is add the rectangle to extend it. That's not really all you,
Yeah,
so it would be shorter and take off these
yeah.
corners.
The concern I have is the distance between the existing house here. I mean, they're already close to the lot line anyway.
Yeah.
And
And their lot line is only 12 feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
if they went out that full footprint, that one corner would be 12 feet from their property line. Now, where they started the structure would be 20 feet, which is,
Right.
but to make it a square wall, they come out and end up being 12 feet from the property line. So that, the distance between that corner and the adjacent house, so my only thought is space and from a fire perspective and safety perspective, is there any concerns there? Just distance around the different properties for access, for safety room concerns?
Well, I mean, how much, and this is obviously, this is a more rhetorical question, how much is lost to them if we maintain that 20-foot setback on that close side, you know what I mean? So,
Lost to the applicant?
to the applicant, right?
Yeah.
In fact,
So it would be,
so you end up doing like,
so it would be this piece right here,
right, so you do almost basically what you have there.
right here.
Right.
Right, so this would be lost if that were to happen,
No?
right?
Well, yeah, if
Yeah,
you
no.
wanted to make a square wall, right,
Right?
Yes.
you're right,
Right.
correct.
So it would have to come up to here,
So what
and
is
so
that?
you'd lose that, but given there's nothing on the other side, extending the mountain isn't.
I mean, if they built what they're wanting to do right here, it would not be a sore thumb in the neighborhood, because there's other properties that are that close
Right, it's
in
certainly
that same neighborhood.
not outside of
So
the
it would not be,
character of the neighborhood.
exactly, it would be within the character of the neighborhood. So I was just wondering, is there I'll say a public safety concern as far as access
I don't think
around the
that's-
property?
The town doesn't have I don't think that's ours to, I don't know if that's in our purview then. I just don't-
Not, I don't know if it's necessarily.
Certainly closer buildings are more likely to.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Right.
look downtown, there's a lot closer
Well,
buildings, so
there's
yeah,
a-
I guess you're right.
Well, there's a reason why you have zoning though, I mean, that's why
That's-
they
yeah, yeah,
implement
yeah.
stuff like that, right?
It's 240 square feet. I mean, it's a healthy chunk.
Is that what this
That's
is?
what that works out to, 30 by 8.
Does anybody else have
But-
that similar concern and how close that is?
I mean, the whole neighborhood's like that.
You're right, it is.
And the whole neighborhood experienced what happens when you build houses like that just a couple years ago. Lakewood, or one of these two, almost burned a house down, almost burned 2 more down.
I think it was nice.
I think it was Lake, not Lakewood, but it was the exact same, it's the same neighborhood, just different roads.
Same area. Eric, you have some?
All these voices in my head.
Oh, no.
They're arguing.
Aim for the middle.
Well, they're arguing with each other. Because there's part of me that says, oh, fire beware.
Yeah,
That
yeah, no, I
they
mean,
didn't do that. But then I look at this house, I'm gonna call it to the bottom of this page.
Right.
Where the 92.99
Yep.
is.
I don't know how that got approved that close.
Well, was it before, so I don't know how old that house is.
Right.
But if we're, I think one of our criteria is the financial burden or
Right.
undue hardship or something like
Right.
that.
Right.
Where that person, and it's hard for me to say, but I'm gonna estimate it's probably 2 to 3 feet off the property line. Which
So that,
which-
I mean,
Which would be, based on what we know, would, one, be a violation of town setback. But even if that 6-foot setback was valid, would definitely be a
violation
of that,
Right.
Right,
based on what we know, but we don't know when it was built or anything
We
like
don't.
that. And I guess it's neither here nor there. But if you take that into consideration, or if we're talking about safety, I think they're gonna be, I know fire can trouble.
I mean, the closest part is already existing. It's not like,
Yeah.
it's not like
That's
whatever
true,
they built
yeah.
new is gonna be closer than
Well,
what
Yeah, you're right.
exists.
They're 6 feet and then they're, call
Yeah.
it 10 feet just to be safe. They're 10 feet from corner to corner.
oh, you mean from here to here?
Well,
Like, this is already the existing closest
and
distance.
that's not moving.
And yeah, it's not gonna change, that already is an existing building.
Yep.
Right.
So, you know, not like we're allowing them to build closer to the existing building, but
True.
what they're asking for.
Yeah, that's true.
but
Is your plan to tear down the house?
No.
And rebuild?
No.
Just go around?
Is it easy to tear
We're not tearing it down.
Oh, no, I I was
Yeah.
just curious. Because you could,
Well,
if
I
you
think
made,
you'd
if you
be
made
open.
this a non-livable space, made,
I
or
don't, we
that.
can't tell them what to do, we're not, they can make that the kitchen for all we care.
No, I was just gonna say, that basically solves that whole problem right there,
No,
though.
because we can't tell them how to build their house.
I know, I'm just talking.
Just looking at the safety aspect, because if we do look at the safety, yeah, we had an issue in similar situations, but so do we take an opportunity to correct it, or do we just keep perpetuating safety?
Right.
But it's existing, this is what, so, I mean, you're not penalizing them there, all they're
I was
asking,
hoping that was just a fact.
all they're doing is, all they're doing is.
Doesn't look like it on this metal picture.
Yeah, no.
All they're doing is, they're really just in the back, they're just taking the setback 8 feet. And in the back, I mean, 8 feet is the closest they're moving back.
Right, you think
Right.
right here?
Yeah,
It's all, it's, except for the front is what, 30 foot?
Front is a 30,
And
and
the
it's
side,
in
and the
a
side, and the rear is all
20,
20.
Yeah.
right,
So the closest they're taking
it's 12 feet.
is 8 feet to the back, I mean, that's the.
I'm not a UL engineer, but I don't think the 8 feet is gonna be the difference between a house exposing and a house not exposing. Fire settings. I mean, I'm sure I could do the math right now, but I don't want to. I mean, I don't know what the square footage of this area is right here.
It should be, I would say it would be the same as what you calculated before.
Well, I guess it's half,
30
well, it's not
feet.
half.
It'll be close to half.
So it's like, talk about 100 square feet here, and I don't know, it just seems like.
So you're,
It's
so.
like, this is actually what we're allowing a variance of, you know what I mean? Like, this is what we're talking about giving a variance for.
On
on
this
this
side. Right.
And I don't know, it
Just
just
that
seems
one.
like it's not much, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So, no, it doesn't, I mean, I guess this piece of it was the problem, the 12 feet, right?
That's the concern.
Right. And so this is 8 by 30, so this whole thing is 240, so that's 120 that you're taking out, right? Yeah.
Well, they can't really, I mean, I guess you could in theory build in here, but this would be, you know what I mean? Like, I guess they could build a wall along here.
And they're looking for a 6 foot house.
Right.
What is this one?
That's 14.
14, and this is 12. But this is all common area.
Right.
That's less of an issue than that
I
house.
guess next to the house.
I mean, I think that's the,
That's the hangup.
Or you're
So-
looking at 270 feet here, roughly.
you mean up here, you mean?
Yeah, because it's 30 feet, 15 feet.
So it's 20.
45 feet. Around.
Look at that.
If you take this area here,
Yeah.
it's 45 feet roughly, because it's here, here, so it's 15, that's 30, that's 45, and 6 feet. It's adding 270 square feet.
Oh, on this back strip. I see.
Yeah. As these properties are bought and sold, and people want to do things, they're gonna have these numbers for the board to get in.
So, going to the 5 criteria, this discussion has, I think, a lot to do with variance will not be contrary to the public interests. North Portland Supreme Court has then held that the contrary to the public interest or injurious of public rights, the variance must unduly and in marked degree conflict with the basic zoning objectives of the ordinance. ZBA should examine whether the variance would alter the essential character of the locality or threaten public health, safety, or welfare. So, again, granting this variance, building that footprint, I don't think alters the essential character of the neighborhood location. Then the question would be, is it a threat to public health, safety, welfare? And I think the only thing I can think of would be how close it is to that property. But, as you noted, we're already 6 foot from the property line with the existing structure. So we're not going any closer. We're going further away,
Right, but you're not, you're,
just in that one corner of it.
right, and if you still have access
Yeah.
this way, right, you're not making it any worse. This is if this place caught on fire, that, it would be this corner, right?
Yeah.
It would be
Would be the
like,
most likely.
most
Yeah, that would
likely,
be the
right,
first impacted on this structure,
right, but,
because it's the closest.
so, Eric's comment about the need to kind of like establish how we're gonna move forward as far as the zoning goes. You know, people wanna do what they wanna do, but at some point, we need to make sure that, we need to make sure that we're adhering to the zoning with the intent of the zoning while we're here, right?
So, I mean, I don't, it doesn't seem unreasonable to me then to hold to the town setbacks on that close side.
On that one corner.
Right, that doesn't seem like unreasonable.
Okay, so you're saying
Grant
Just-
all this.
all this back
just
here?
Not this corner.
Not this
Hold-
corner.
Hold to the condensed side.
So that means that because they have all this open space over here, but the house is here.
Right, and given that it's already so impinged on the setbacks, I mean, that's what I'm taking away from the
Right.
conversation. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah. That makes,
You know, it's not like this guy, it's not like
Right.
this guy is even close to, and it's not their fault, but it's the reality of it. It's not like this
Right.
building is even close to meeting any of the setbacks.
Exactly.
So,
Even the condominium
in
or
the
the
interest of a little
association.
bit maintaining the intent of the setbacks, you know, there's obviously space to grow back here. Maybe we just hold this setback on that side.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable. Eric?
Can you pick and choose that we can only, that way on the lower, the right side of the property, you have to.
Put conditions on ones, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
put
but
conditions.
I've never been in an experience where we put a condition on part of the setback where it's all or none. It's not like,
Well, the trouble is, they're actually coming up for a variance on 3 separate setbacks. So,
but it's all, it's one
Right,
lot.
so we
It's
can-
one variance, one application.
It's one variance. So
right, so we
either-
can
either-
approve the variance here,
No,
we can
you
approve
can't.
the variance.
I don't think
Let me
you
see
can
how it's written.
do the variance.
Yeah,
for-
look at the application.
But the applicant also said they want to know what they could build with it. So I think giving that guideline, giving that guidance would meet with what they're requesting.
Are our hands tied that much? Are we like,
That's a technicality that I'm not really able
So
to
I
speak so
mean-
much on. I know planning, I don't.
They've, I don't think you have to do all or nothing though.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. I don't know. I've never had a case where we've said, okay, you can be non-conforming here, non-conforming here, but here you have to conform on the same property. It's either a non-conforming lot or it's not a non-conforming.
Well, it's already a non-conforming lot. It's what we're gonna allow them to do going
Well,
forward.
we can say no and it stays a non-conforming lot the way it is and they're stuck to the footprint, the setback.
Right, but that's not the, but I don't think that's the intent of the zoning thing. I think the intent is like, that's a kind of a hardship requirement. If we don't allow anything, they can only build this weird little thing or add on this weird little thing right here. And if they were to do that,
Well, that's what,
that
that's what,
doesn't.
that's what the setbacks allow them to do.
Right, right. So if we said no, they could build in this section without, but then it's not, what do you call it? The structure itself is not,
It's already,
it's like, how do you say it?
it's already without.
It's,
But
right,
then,
it'd be
okay,
wacky.
So then, if you take that approach,
Yeah,
are we creating a hardship on the owner now because it may become too costly to build at an angle?
well, no, that's, so I
You don't
guess,
have to build
they
on
don't
the
have to
center
build
line.
at an angle.
You just can't build any closer on this
Right,
particular
but so you
setback.
can't,
So they could square it off, they would just square off this piece of it.
I mean, they can
Right.
build at an angle if
They
want.
could grow it, they could put it at an angle, but they
well, I
don't,
just,
but they don't have to, they could just square it off. And therefore, they would, you could still give them all of this and,
I mean, we've granted variances in the past with contingencies.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't see how this isn't a variance.
I just don't know if you can say, okay, on this part of it, you have to stay with them, you have to keep the setback,
I
where
think-
the other part, the other,
I think if we specifically walk through each side of the property in our decision, you could do it that way. That we accept, because he goes through and says, we want a variance on this, we want
they want
a
a
6
variance,
foot
they
on,
want a variance on the property. That's what they're looking for, they're not looking for
but
a
he
variance
says,
on the
I
north
would
side,
like a
east side.
6, but he said, I want 6 feet on this side, right? And so you could say, grant 6 feet on, whatever side that is, on the common side. This one already exists. We agreed to extend this one already exists, we're just extending that one. We agreed at the front of the house. It is currently at 22 feet, and they can extend that along that 22-foot line, right? On this side, we can say that
So let's
this,
say you have to maintain the setbacks on the south side of the lot.
yeah, or whatever that's,
Yeah.
is there a rose on
There's
it?
a rose on that.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So that still allows them to have a reasonably looking structure that, easy to build, or much
Well,
easier to build.
Like we
that-
put a limit on the development on School Street, and they didn't ask for, like we said, an arbitrary, we approved the variance with the condition of this.
Oh, yeah, right, with a certain footprint,
Right.
right?
So they didn't ask for a variance on footprint size,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I guess I just don't see how it's any different.
Well, their variance was because they were building
More buildings.
smaller,
Yeah.
more building on a smaller lot, they were, because it was cluster zone, this is a cluster zone.
But they weren't asking for a variance on footprint size.
I think that's all Matt's saying, we've done,
Yeah, but I think they came back
Contingencies.
to us, remember?
And ask for a change for more. They won't ask for a change on
Well, they
the,
had to ask for more because when they did it, they realized that they wanted to keep it on one, they wanted to put a master bedroom on the first floor.
they asked for a bigger footprint.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is that doesn't change that when
Right.
that variance was
Yeah,
passed.
Now here, we're saying they have to have a smaller footprint.
it's a different
But
situation.
that's why we started with the original one on School Street. They came back for another variance for a larger footprint. But the initial one is we set the footprint size.
It's also different variables, it's a whole
Right.
totally different.
Right. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Just for the sake of taking minutes and getting all this down, for the one section that you would, like to push back into the town setbacks,
Yeah.
do you have a succinct reason for just that one? Is it a safety issue? Is it
Safety, that's the way
for
they're taking it,
safety
safety.
issues?
We're talking about
Because it's
safety
closest to
in
the
proximity to the structure near.
The congestion of the buildings.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I think if we go to item 3, substantial justice, perhaps the only guiding rule is that any loss to the individual is not outweighed by a gain to the general public is an injustice. So the public safety, the access to structures in a public safety situation, that fits there.
No, I mean, I think, 12 feet is close. I mean, you can be watching somebody in their bathroom at that
The house is already 6
distance.
feet, so what's the?
Yeah.
But it's not, but you're now directly across from it. This is in direct line. You're in direct
Well,
line. across
that's
from it.
better.
Well, I mean, that was my initial feeling, is it's already 6 feet, so what's the difference? And you made the point about kind of setting precedents going forward.
Right.
And so, we either are gonna set the precedents going forward that you can just build with buildings semi-willy-nilly in here however you want, or we're gonna try to maintain some, I don't know what the right word is.
Recognition of-
Some semblance of not having buildings literally stacked on top of each other.
Right.
And now, we can't change the 6 foot because the building already exists.
Right.
It is
Well,
what
I would
it is.
have more of an issue if they were looking to bring this all the way down here, and now all of a sudden you're at the property,
Well, yeah, they're not doing that though.
But
Right.
So, does it sounds to me like you're not as concerned about that 12-foot to the border of the.
only because it's already not, it's already 6 feet on a quarter of the property. On a quarter of the
The existing structure.
the existing structure is already 6 feet from the
Right.
property line.
But in the spirit of the zoning ordinance, like our,
But I'm just not 100% confident that we can designate that, saying only on the south side of this parcel, you have to stay within the town setback, and on the other 4 side, on the 3 sides, you
I guess I
can
don't
build
know.
as
Yeah.
the, in the exhibit.
I guess I don't understand, I don't know how it's different than setting a contingency, some of the other contingencies that we've previously done.
Yeah, it seems the same to me, but I'm not experienced enough to.
None of us are.
Go on it or something.
None of us are.
We should dial return.
So, can I ask, can we open it up to a question?
Question?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, do you see any hardship in taking this one little section off?
I do, because one of the things that we were really determined was to have a structure that was 28 by 30 back there. That's why we came up with this, because we came up with we took a look at some layouts, the bedrooms with this, and this seemed to be the one we could work with. And looking at this, that seemed to make the most sense. I still believe it seems to make the most sense. I don't know. I don't know if I can just keep talking or just.
I asked you a question,
Yeah,
so go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
go
All
ahead.
right, I don't want to.
No, that's fine.
If you're familiar with any of the area out there, that 12 feet is like a ballpark compared to the way some of the other ones are. I don't mean to throw this in, okay, but I just want to mention, the Lavoys are in here, okay, and they just built a house there.
Up near the lake.
The one that was an issue
Yep.
Yeah.
initially, okay? Their setbacks are, forget the front because it's beachfront. It's
Right.
right on the water, okay?
Right.
Their setbacks are 10 feet, 13 feet, and 13 feet. So again,
And that's existing structures, property line?
yes.
Okay.
But that's,
To this house that you're
they're
Yeah,
questioning.
To
the
not-
other
to the-
side.
to the other
That's
ones.
the other side of this house.
No, the new one that was built, they
no,
had
that's
two of
up
them.
here, yeah.
I'm just trying to, the point that I'm
Wasn't
trying to
the
make
one
is that
That they built it,
The-
they built it without any permits.
they built it without,
Right.
Right, but if the
And-
hardship was it was already in place, right?
but my point is that, I don't wanna say that was let go. I mean, I'm hoping we're not gonna be put as the example for everybody else, you know? I really don't, you know, especially if we were talking about people who hadn't done anything for years. And now was the time, now they were gonna be looking at building something, and now was the time was to put our foot in the sand and say, this is the line, we're not gonna go any further. But we're talking about something that, they just moved in, 4th of July weekend there, and this is what they have.
So,
Regardless of the other cases, to me, it's semi-semantics about talking about 12 feet when this building is already 9 feet, maybe. We don't know for sure what the setback off the
Oh,
other building is.
right.
Is already well closer. Maybe I'd have a little bit of a different feeling about it if this portion of the building didn't exist. But, I mean, this building is already 6 feet away from the lot line. And this
hence
other
the reason
one's-
why I wanted to say, like the porch, like, if you get rid of the porch,
Well,
it all,
Keep
you
in
have
mind,
enough.
it's 6 feet at one corner, and it gets bigger as you go towards the road.
Anything else? Any other-
I did off the top of my head, I lost track of it. But,
Yeah.
I keep hearing safety. Is safety fire hose, fire line? Is that what we're talking about?
I think they're talking about the intent of the zoning setbacks.
No, I understand, but
So-
I'm just saying, if the actual location, I don't know if this makes any difference, but the actual location of the hydrant is right behind our house, in a common area, right there.
I wasn't around when they set these zoning.
Neither were
The
neither was
idea, I think, they believe is, it doesn't necessarily have to do with hoses and stuff, it has to do with how close the buildings are to each other.
Right.
That's more what it's about, and how
Densely populated.
densely packed.
Well,
on the database.
again, and I keep going, this new one here, this one borders this house on the other side. And that 13 feet almost goes right to that, there, goes right to the property between the two houses is probably maybe a total of 20 feet, if that, 18 to 20 feet.
It's that much.
So, I'm just hoping we're not gonna be set as again, as the example, when I agree with you. This thing is, at the closest point, is 6 feet from the property line. That's not gonna change. If we were 20 feet in the back, it's still not gonna change that 6 feet. So,
And then I said, yeah, 6 feet from the property line, but then her house is pushed back.
Well,
So
our-
you add,
What we're getting at is it's already so super close there.
Yes,
So
I
it's
get it,
like,
I get it.
even with just this, they're even closer than 6 feet from the property line on the other side. I think we're kinda, it's apples and oranges with it. I don't know, in this particular
But
instance.
but the whole idea behind zoning is to try and
Maintain.
maintain it,
But
right?
this is a non-conforming lot. And the spirit of the neighborhood, how does it say, alter the essential character of the locality, the neighborhood, that wouldn't.
No,
So,
I think we'd be doing undue hardship to them to deny this ordinance based on our lack of knowledge if we can change a single setback tonight. I don't think, this is an opinion, it's not fair of us to impose that on them when we lack the knowledge on it.
I mean, they're already trying to, within reasonable conformity, to stay to the setbacks as they are. I mean, they're not going, far out to the, we'll say the east, the right side there. They're staying right to that edge. So I think, that they're trying to stay close to the existing setbacks. So little enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. And
So originally, right, so your last one was significantly different. You only had 16 feet here. And it was 32 feet here, so the same distance here. So why the increase?
Because-
From the last
I'm sorry.
submission?
Because one of the things that we did not do at that time was actually have a plan of what we wanted to build, and now I think we do.
okay.
Here's my other devil's advocate, that, because if we can't just say the south side, the north side, the east side, the west side, whatever.
Right.
Now, we're gonna take that north side and come back along that purple line and make that the conforming, and they lose 6 feet.
Why are we doing that?
Say that again?
Well, if, again, because of lack of knowledge, lack of whatever, if we say that the setback has to meet
This one?
zoning over here,
Yeah.
okay, now are we gonna make them all of a sudden on this north side drop in another 6 feet so that they're 20 feet from the property line?
No, because they have a special circumstance, given this lot,
Well, what
where,
I'm saying is, if not knowing if we can be selective on where we say they have to be conforming versus non-conforming. So if we're wrong, if we voted and we find out that we couldn't just do this little triangle, and so that they, and your thing is saying that they have to conform to the setback here, could it be challenged and say, no, now they have to come back to here, now they're basically back to the trapezoid, or whatever the heck that is.
that's what I was getting at by saying that we would be causing an unnecessary hardship by denying it on our lack of knowledge. If we say, if you're saying it's all or nothing,
I don't know, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the request, and I didn't realize this, had doubled the request on that side. So they actually were conforming in the original request
No.
on that
No,
side.
they weren't, no.
Yeah, on this side, yes,
Sure.
if you look at it, it's only 16 feet, this is 30.
Right, but
So they were conforming on this side and,
well, I mean, it'd still
likely
come out,
not, because
it'd be
that-
like this still.
huh?
It'd still be halfway out across this.
Yeah.
It still would be unconforming on the side.
so they likely weren't.
But this one works.
It would be less.
Huh? Oh, it would be less of a non-conforming,
Right.
yeah.
But that was my issue with the last one, they didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
They-
And we asked them to go get a plan, not come back with it. so.
Well, we asked them
And
to
they've
mark,
done their part.
we asked them to mark
Yep.
the lot lines, because that was not available on this one. The setbacks weren't available.
Right, and they weren't sure whether they wanted to do A, B, or C, we were like, well, geez,
Right.
which
Right.
half of this, what are you
Yeah.
asking for here?
You're right,
So we said, come back and tell us
Yep.
what you're asking for.
yep,
That's
okay.
what,
Yeah, no?
And they've done that, now they've got specifics of
Yep.
what they want, so they've met that. Any other thoughts or discussions? So going through the variances, are we comfortable to walk through those now?
You ready to go?
The variance will not be contrary to the public interests. Granting the variance will not be contrary to public interests. Any thoughts on that?
I don't see how it would be.
Spirit of the ordinance is observed. I mean, it's a non-conforming lot, so, I mean,
But
The non-conforming lot then becomes a little bit more,
non-conforming,
well, it's
so
always gonna be non-conforming.
it's always
Yeah.
gonna be non-conforming,
but they're not building right up to the 6-foot line.
So it's,
That's-
I
well,
would
that's-
have more of an issue if they had blown this wall out,
Yeah.
down straight down here,
And they're not doing that.
no, they're making it.
So they're trying to meet their needs of use of property, building what they want to build, and still stay within what the town is saying the guidelines are. I think the spirit of the ordinance, in my mind, the spirit of what the ordinance, they're trying to observe that. Substantial justice. I don't think that there would be any substantial justice to the public or the town by denying this.
it's consistent with the rest of the properties. I don't have a problem with that. I have a
The
problem.
values of the surrounding properties are not diminished. I mean, I
No.
think this will definitely increase the value of
Yeah.
the property once this is completed.
Mhm.
Literal enforcement of the provision of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. I think it would definitely result in a hardship for them. They would be very limited on how they could use their land.
Well, the unfortunate thing is they did provide an alternative in the last one.
Well, I don't think we can talk, that's not what they're asking for now.
You know?
And what they were asking for in the last one was also not in conformance with the literal enforcement
True.
of the, what's considered buildable.
Right, but we're talking about hardship.
Well, it's literal enforcement of the zoning would cause hardship. If we literally enforced
Yes.
this pink, because that's what we're
That
talking,
would be
literally
literal
enforcing
enforcement.
this pink box,
That would be
not
literal
really a box,
enforcement.
right?
Yeah. That'd be literal enforcement.
That's true.
That, I think that would cause a hardship.
Well, right, that's what the variant, yeah.
So they're asking for,
That bullet, if we're answering that bullet, literally enforcing the setbacks would cause an undue hardship. I would agree with that.
yeah, I agree. Are we set to vote? That is the 5.
Oh, okay.
What were you forgetting?
I don't know.
Oh.
So, anybody have a,
I make a motion to approve ZBA case 19-03
As presented.
as presented.
a second? And, vote?
So is there any discussion?
Yeah. No, you're right,
No, you're good?
Discussion? So, all opposed? All in favor? I did do that backwards, sorry. So, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, granted.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We need, yeah.
Yeah.
So, one quick question.
Yes.
I've heard so many different things. How long is how long is a variance good for? I've heard 5 years, 10 years, life. I've heard all sorts of things. I'm just curious.
So,
Your orange book will tell you.
This one?
sorry.
Wait a minute, so his is the most up to date. I
you
needed to
one.
ask if anybody needs a copy of the new zoning.
Yeah, I thought I ordered.
You didn't get
Okay.
one for planning?
No,
I thought
Okay.
I heard 2 years, but I don't know if that's a special
thought it was
circumstance.
many.
So, yeah, site plan review, they give you 2 years to get substantial progress and completion. But that just protects you from zoning changes for 5 years. Essentially, a site plan approval doesn't expire, but it's not necessarily protected from zoning changes. So if they suddenly say, that's not a permitted use, or, you know, something like that conflicts with your site plan approval, then so be it, you know, unless you have that substantial completion. Or you come for, right, you'd have to seek a variance or.
I thought a variance stood for the life of the property because.
That's what I had heard, but then
But
I
if
saw
nothing's
some
done
other.
with it,
But it
So
doesn't matter, because, for instance, the only case I can think of where I know various different variances have been issued is 100 Autumn Drive. And at one time, it was a variance for a movie production. And then it was a variance granted for an indoor sports center, which I believe ended the variance for the movie production. And then when it became an alcohol, or a treatment center, that ended the variance of the sports, of the indoor sports, indoor recreation, and for that.
That would be because it was a change from the original
But
variance.
but
the point being,
the point being, it has variances, that those variances are no longer
I found the answer to our
valid
question
because they
from
were changed.
Oh,
So
what was it?
We
as long as you
didn't
don't have
attach,
another
almost
thing.
all the case law here allows for attaching conditions.
Okay, cool, so now we know.
So, yeah, I would, but she can get verification on that if it's a lifetime.
Yeah,
And
it would
whose
just take
life?
me a little
Is
bit.
it my life?
Right.
In what they call it,
Properties.
in perpetuity.
Okay.
So you need an orange book, do you, either of you need
Yes.
a
Yeah.
newly updated book? Okay.
I think
thought
to
I-
answer your question, kind of to make it official, unless you find it in that book, you may not want to take our word for it
Right.
until, you know, because I don't
Sheena,
know.
is that something you could check into?
Did you-
Yes, actually, yeah, I made a note in here, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and contact you.
According to this case law here, attachments of conditions to variance, every single one here allowed for boards to attach conditions. Just to answer our question.
Okay.
I wouldn't have known that until I just found this. What's that? Just read it before I know.
I had spoken to you and Matt at the last meeting when it was just the two of you about potentially getting some more, you know, like refresher courses for ZBA
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that.
Yep.
Is that something that everyone here is sort of interested?
Oh, I think we need
Oh, we
to
got it in the meeting.
Oh.
get it in the meeting,
Mhm,
yeah.
okay.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Aye, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
May I ask one question? Did we get something in the mail?
Sheena.
Yeah.
Okay, you're,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We show
Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank
you.
you.
It was so
Thank
nice
you.
to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Take care. So short.
Time period for modification of municipal regulations